Hello everybody, Pony Boy here. Oh boy, I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea for background artwork for this one, so I'm gonna be saying this right now. As a default background for whatever drawing that I'm be doing for two characters that I have very little or if not no knowledge of, I'm not gonna put them as a somewhat animated background or just two different drawings. I'm gonna just have it as a default drawing of us watching a movie theater. Mainly because I don't know much about Blade and I have no idea who Buffy is. But from the looks of it, I'm not sure whether it's the entire company or if she's just from a movie or TV series. So probably a comic book. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything about her. So I didn't want to draw anything insensitive. So as a background, instead of doing two drawings, I decided to only do it as one, as a default being watching a movie. So please forgive me if I don't know any of the characters that you guys may be a fan of. I personally know nothing of this character, so again, I am so sorry. I didn't want to upset anyone with the artwork, so I decided to make it as if Blade, Buffy, and I were just sitting down in a movie theater watching the death battle. Other than that, I've got nothing else to say. I just wanted to say that in case if you guys don't like the artwork. And oh boy, yeah, I'm sorry. This is my first time actually having to make these kinds of announcements because I have no idea what to say for most of the time. And right now, I'm actually gonna have to take off this sweater. It was a little while earlier in the morning. It was actually really cold. I had to run in the cold, but now it's getting hot, probably because I'm sweating from all this me being nervous. And you're about to see as to the background art that I have for this episode of Death Battle. And again, I'm sorry. And if you guys want to watch the Death Battle itself, just go to their YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. So let's just get right onto the video, and I'll see you guys all at the end of the video. 2, 1, go. Oh, it's live action.
Blade versus Buffy.
The Daywalker versus the Vampire Slayer.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills
A
to find out who would
Daywalker?
win a death battle.
Oh boy.
They are known by many names. Revenant, Vortalok, Nosferatu.
Vampires. When the moon is out and the night is young, these undead demons are out for blood.
Fitting then that the greatest foe of those who stalk the night is the one who can walk the day, Blade.
Wait.
Is that really his costume?
Hang on.
Now there's a man who doesn't file his taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever, and basically kickstarted the comic book movie craze.
And yet, he is
Really?
also seemingly the only one who knows or cares that in the world of Marvel, vampires exist. Seriously, nobody talks about this.
Blade doesn't need anyone's help. He'll just aura farm by himself.
Even
That's
Blade's
honestly
birth was
surprising.
hardcore. Just as the young
Really?
Eric Brooks' mother was in labor, her attending
Over
doctor
100
turned
years
out to
old?
be the vampire Deacon Frost.
And he drank
Oh,
her
boy.
blood right before she gave birth.
This infused Eric with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. A dampier.
Giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight.
Eric would hone these abilities under the tutelage of
That's
vampire
honestly
hunter
pretty
Jamal
cool.
Mafari, sharpening him into a blade that would rape the vampire plague for good.
Blade is
Such a
strong and
pun.
fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up with Wolverine, who can deflect Cyclops'
Ooh.
light-speed optic blasts. And his Kevlar DuPont armor helped him take the top of Count Von Stott's castle exploding.
He can heal small
Damn.
wounds immediately and sniff out the supernatural with his hypersenses. Also, his
I
fangs
smell
can drain
blood
his
magic.
victims of magical energies.
After After studying
What?
the ways of Hong Kong kung fu movies, Blade became a
Ooh.
master martial artist.
I heard that in the
Yes,
background.
the Rufus from Street Fighter School of Kung Fu.
While the only
Wait,
martial art
what?
he's been stated to know is Krav Maga, we know he's mastered
Krav
more.
Maga.
So for the full scope of his martial arts ability, we'll examine the Blade movies as performed by Wesley Snipes.
By looking at Snipes' training and choreography, we know Blade uses Kung Fu, Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima, kickboxing, Shotokan karate, and Hapkido. Add on Blade's knack for stealthy takedowns, and I guess you could call him Marvel's Batman.
Blade's training progressed smoothly until Afari was attacked and had his blood drained by Dracula. Seriously, Avengers, Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything about this? He's
I know.
right there.
Forced to murk his surrogate
I always
dad,
wondered
Blade
why.
would have to wage his war alone.
Nursing a wound within him that would never heal. A hole that could never
Damn.
be filled.
Not with that attitude. Blade took a page out of the Book of Boomstick and tried filling that hole with every kind of weapon imaginable. He's got so many, they're his apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault rifles, and
Damn,
explosives make
really?
up the brunt of his firepower. And he enjoys getting up close and personal with his dual acid-etched titanium katanas.
Speaking of
Titanium.
glorious Nippon steel, he's got a sword made out of adamantium.
Specifically, secondary adamantium. A variant
Secondary
of the metal that is
adamantium?
mass-producible.
It might not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through heavy hitters like Ultron and the Hulk.
Naturally, Blade
Damn.
has even more swords. His Atlantean ones can slice through magical enchantments. The Word Sword can harm intangible demons, and the Justiciar
Ooh.
can slay fallen angels.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff
Damn,
he can pull
okay,
out of
that's
his
pretty
ass,
cool.
like a Hellfire shotgun that burns your soul, or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood. Seems kinda dumb to turn people into vampires, but it does make them more vulnerable to Blade's arsenal.
All that pales in
Oh,
comparison
okay,
to
that
the
explains
arch
it.
weapon of hell in Blade's possession, the breathing gun. It is a
breathing
living
gun?
firearm that hisses in the presence of demonic forces. Its sentient bullets chase its victims down. The wounds they cause cannot be healed. And if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out. They can even hurt
What?
Helllord and even greater threats like the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Blade took everything
That
he had
is
and
just-
fought his one-man war for almost 100 years.
He's battled hordes of vampires while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon, and even took on Spider-Man like Miles Morales, who could absorb the energy of a bomb that could destroy Harlem. Blade's even bested the spirit
Yeah,
of
I remember
vengeance,
that.
Zarathos.
And while he
Wait,
occasionally
what?
allied with teams like the Avengers, he prefers to work alone.
I probably would too if they only cared about me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, vampires.
That, and Blade is scared of what he might do if he loses control, because he does have one classic vampire weakness, a thirst
Oh,
for
no.
blood. Blah.
Ah.
Even more so after he had a daughter, Brielle, whom he avoided
He has
for
a daughter?
fear of endangering her. If his bloodlust does overwhelm him, he will enter a berserker rage, skyrocketing his strength at the cost of his sanity.
Though it does make him
Oh,
even better at
boy.
killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
Drac apparently
Damn.
didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampirsk, a vampire nation in the
What?
ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf, a horde of bats, or a cloud of mist.
So he can force his
Damn.
way inside your body and blow you up from the inside out, Ant-Man style.
What is with you with the
Huh.
Ant-Man? Blade's hatred of vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampiric powers, Blade finally found a reason to reconnect with his daughter, training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even after Blade was possessed by the first vampire ever and tried to take over the planet, Brielle put her dad's teachings to the test, saving both him and the world.
And proving that Blade's lonely
Damn.
war need not be so lonely anymore. With his daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy Thing, let Marvel's
Oh, that
vampires
thing looks
beware.
adorable.
For should they indulge their unnatural urges, they'll be sure to meet their end at the tip of his blade.
Damn, that's crazy.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness. She is the Slayer.
For thousands of years,
Huh.
a new Slayer would be granted incredible powers and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the
Damn, that
next Slayer
sucks.
and the next, and so on. That is, until the newest Slayer would change everything. Buffy Ann Summers.
Not exactly
Buffy
the first
and
girl you'd think
Summers.
is the savior of humanity. Buffy's only goals in life were, in her own words, graduate from high school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and revealed her destiny.
Like, total bummer.
Merrick trained Buffy in the arts of vampire slang, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
Whoa.
Forcing her and her mom to move to Sunnydale, California to start a new life, far
Oh,
away from any
dear.
more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately, small problem,
Bloodsuckers and bad
Sunnydale just so
makeup.
happened to be right on top of a hellmouth, where the boundary between Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds
Oh,
like
boy.
the valley, all right. Along with new Watcher Giles, Wallflower Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad boy Angel, magical retcon sister Dawn, and
Retcon sister.
Xander. Buffy and her Scooby Gang would battle a never-ending
What is
series
this?
of monsters.
And we mean truly never-ending. Sure, there's the TV show, but Buffy has also been slaying vampires across video games, comics, and 128 novels. Tens of thousands of pages of Buffy lore you've never heard of.
But we're just crazy enough to speed read them all.
Buffy carries a variety of anti-vampire
Oh,
weaponry.
dear.
There's wooden stakes, of course, sometimes dipped in gorgon venom that can turn you to stone. Though she's also experienced with axes, swords, quarterstaffs, holy water, just about anything.
You said it! When she fought an ancient demon unable to be killed by any weapon forged in his time, Buffy introduced his stupid ass to the 20th century.
She's also a master of Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate, kung fu, wushu, tai chi, kendo, capoeira, and
Oh my
taekwondo.
Buffy apparently
goodness.
thinks Hong Kong's kung fu movie masters could learn a thing or two.
No kidding. Thanks to her Slayer senses, her reflexes are fine-tuned enough to dodge close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who
Damn.
can dodge laser beams from point-blank range.
Buffy's strong enough to bend rebar, punch this
Oh.
4.5-ton bat monster into the air, and, smash hard enough to tear apart a building.
And despite her lack
Huh?
of armor, she can survive massive explosions, like the one that destroyed Sephrilian's lair that's bigger on the inside.
She can even fight
Huh?
blindfolded. But if she is injured, she heals fast enough to be totally fine by the next episode.
One time, Angel
Damn.
sucked out almost all of the blood from her body, and she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own magic makes her weirdly resilient to esoteric attacks, like when she expelled this misty shadow demon trying to possess her body, or when she resisted her soul being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that time she
What
jumped into
is-
a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars,
I
but
am
she sure
just-
has emotional ones. Being the Slayer put a huge burden
Oh,
on Buffy's
no,
life.
no.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when Angel turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world. That must be one of those metaphors.
Sometimes the worst
Yep.
enemies are the ones you can't fight and who don't fight back.
Made even worse by her having all the memories of the other Slayers bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone
Damn.
Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every battle a
the
Slayer has
Stone
ever
Age?
fought, and can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the memories of their deaths. Countless women violently dying young, a reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping into
Glory?
Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Buffy sacrificed herself to save the universe, dying a hero's death.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally
Yep.
freed of her unfair earthly responsibilities, Buffy's soul
1981
ascended
to
heaven
2001?
in perfect bliss. Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence. This
Huh?
absolutely crushed Buffy and, ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for
I
more seasons,
don't
she had
blame
to
her.
nut up and continue her endless crusade against all things Spirit Halloween.
Buffy's battled for 48 hours straight, defeated vampires immune to traditional
Damn.
vampiric weaknesses, and destroyed the Sword of Sono, which caused the Great Hanshin earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the Tunguska explosion, which destroyed over 2,000 square kilometers of forest.
Oh
or the
my.
Sorrow Demon, which caused a storm that blanketed Los Angeles.
She's also a match for Angel, who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf, and took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against the First Evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles against stronger and
I am
stronger
honestly
baddies,
very,
Buffy clearly
very
needed something
surprised.
to even the odds. The Slayer safe.
It's actually a Bardiche,
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. This thing is bullshit.
containing the essence of Buffy's Slayer powers and created to defeat ancient demons. The scythe can deflect magical projectiles and slice through just about anything. Ghosts, magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality in the process.
Even Silas, the devourer of worlds. Kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse. And
What?
there goes his head.
The scythe is easily the most powerful tool in her arsenal. In effect, attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the First Evil's ass.
Suddenly, the always isolated Buffy had thousands of shoulders to lean on, a sisterhood of Slayers.
And thousands more reasons for any wannabe demon conqueror
Damn.
to stay away from Earth. Because unless you want to get your blood all over her stylish yet affordable boots, you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
That's crazy.
All
Oh
right, the
boy.
combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's
time for a death
battle!
I should just shut up at this point. A live action death battle. This is the third one, if I remember correctly, right? Oh boy. I'm assuming all those are other vampires. And I'm assuming that is Buffy. Oh dear.
We were kings, long before they had a name for kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough. Tonight, we remember who we were. Tonight, we take back what was always ours. Tonight, we feast.
Daywalker.
And she... That's just the start.
Oh boy. The DJ guy, of course, is gonna keep playing the music. Wow, that was actually pretty good. What? Oh. Oh shit. Double headshot. Oh, right in the eye. Oh. This is a lot more better than I expected. Oh dear. Oh boy. He just accepted his death. Oh no. She's gonna get the misunderstanding. Oh no, never mind. Weird looking gun.
Wait!
Oh boy. So that's how the fight is starting. That was pretty clean.
She's just a kid!
Not anymore.
Oh boy. Now that was cool. Oh dear. That's smart. She took one away from him, okay. This is pretty cool, not gonna lie. Oh.
You out your damn mind?
But shut the hell up. Oh. Ouch. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is just getting me feeling uncomfortable. Oh. Oh dear.
Amateur hour. There's always some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Oh dear. What's with the shades? Ow! Right in the eyes. Well, on the forehead to be exact. Oh, well, there goes the little creature. Oh no, wait, the bullets! Oh. Oh boy.
Another sword!
I see you cut through adamantium. Bring it on.
Oh my goodness. Ouch. Ugh. This is getting really close. Oh dear. Oh my. No way.
Looks like you got ahead of yourself.
Ah, that was a horrible pun, but I like it.
KO! To be Blade tenued no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more comics than Blade.
Really? Man,
Really?
Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories. First up,
All right, let's
stats.
see. Let's see.
Buffy's lifted much
Stats.
heavier things and survived more significant
Oh.
explosions.
Like, sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like
Scaling to the monsters they fought, compare Dracula creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge
Damn.
light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to being the odd man out, though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it
Damn.
comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have
Yep,
more
that's
personal
true.
experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40 times older than Blade, gives her the superior skill. Even then,
Dang,
they
I
both
forgot
had
about
weapons and
that.
abilities so powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're trump cards. Fortunately for
Trump
Buffy,
cards.
she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade
Damn.
turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out?
That's the only one that I
Meanwhile,
remember.
Blade had no way to survive, say, Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the
Oh.
deadly and just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of the same metal.
Oh, and since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse devouring god, I think it could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
Really thought
That
Blade
was
had a
crazy.
chance, but Buffy
I know.
sure put a damn fear on things.
The winner is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Next time
Alright,
on
so who's
Death Battle.
next? Wait a second. Is that Dante? Dante. Who's that?
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Damn. Again, that was something. Wow, that was an incredible fight. Ow, my elbow. Man, if anything, I'm honestly surprised with the results. Poof! I got nothing else to say with that because, man, I guess my background drawing was pretty good. I didn't want to put any Victor or anything of either of them because I had no knowledge of either of them. Wow, honestly, that was incredible. If anything, now I kind of want to know more about the Buffy universe. Oh boy. Anyways, I mean, like, I got nothing else to say right now. I'm just kind of stuttering a bit with how great that fight was, and not gonna lie, I was actually kind of skeptical with the live action Death Battle again. Even the first one with this the Daredevil and this the Nightwing, to me personally, it was kind of cheesy. Well, the second one that they did, which was this, what's it called? What was it? Bucky against Red Hood. Yeah, that one was the second live action Death Battle. That one did a lot better. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually starting to like a lot more of these live action ones. Especially since I have recently watched the movie of the live action of How to Train Your Dragon. Not gonna lie, that movie was really great. I loved it. I loved everything about that movie. But about this Death Battle, I'm not gonna lie, it was really good. I loved it. I loved every frame of it. I loved every camera work. I loved the music. And how long the fight was. Not gonna lie, I hardly ever see any Death Battles that is like, how long was it? Like 6 minutes? That was actually pretty long, and I liked it. I liked it. Oh boy. But anyways, that's enough of me rambling. But again, if you guys want to watch the Death Battle itself, go to their YouTube channel. I'll try to remember to leave a link of their YouTube channel in the description. And I'll catch you all in the next video. So peace out, everybody. Bye bye.